Good morning, students. Till now, our chapter reproduction in flowering plants, we have studied about post fertilization structure and events, endosperm, embryo, embryos in monocotyledon embryo and dicotyledon embryo. Now, next topic is seed. So we'll study about seed. Now, we all know that in angiosperms, the seed is the final product of sexual reproduction. It is also a fertilized ovule. Seeds are formed inside fruits. Basically, a seed consists of seed coat. Seed coat are of two layers are there, testa and tegmen, and then cotyledons. मोनोकॉटिलिडन्स में एक कॉटिलिडन होता है और डाइकॉटिलिडन्स में दो कॉटिलिडन्स होते हैं and an embryo axis. So the function of cotyledon is of the embryo is that it is generally thick and swollen due to storage of food reserves, as in case of legumes. So the seeds are of two types. On the basis of food storage, seeds are of two types. First is exalbuminous or non-albuminous seeds. So, non-albuminous seeds have no residual endosperm as it completely gets consumed during embryo development. For example, pea, groundnut, etc. And second type is albuminous seeds. Albuminous seeds means which retain a part of endosperm. It is not completely used up during embryo formation, embryo development. For example, wheat, maize, barley, castor, etc. Now, in some cases, there is perisperm is present, and some seeds such as black pepper, beet, etc. Remnants of nucellus are also persistent. These residual persistent nucellus is called the perisperm. Now, in the previous slide, we studied about perisperm, and you all know pericarp. Pericarp we have learned in 11th class. So we'll see the differences between perisperm and pericarp because these are similar terms. So perisperm is basically, as I have just told you, that is unused nucellus in the seed. And pericarp, it is the outermost covering of fruit that develops from the ovary wall. Means ovary becomes fruit and wall of the ovary is called pericarp. So perisperm is the part of seed and pericarp is the part of fruit. Perisperm is usually dry and pericarp may be dry or may be fleshy. So in perisperm, it's often non-functional for seed, but in pericarp, it's a protective covering and also help in dispersal and nutrition. Perisperm is present in only few seeds, just like I have told you examples, just like black pepper, beet, etc. But pericarp is present on all fruits. The outermost covering is present on all fruits. Now, in this slide, we are watching the parts of a seed. So, first of all, integuments of ovule harden is the protective seed coat, which I have told you outermost is called the testa and the inner one is called tegmen. So here they present a small pore is present in the seed coat, which is called micropyle. The function of micropyle is that it facilitates the entry of oxygen and water into the seed during germination. As the seed matures, its water content is reduced and seed becomes relatively dry. That it contains only 10 to 15% of the moisture content by mass. So general metabolic activity of the embryo becomes slowed down and embryo may enter a state of inactivity which is called dormancy. And when in favorable conditions come, then they attain moisture, oxygen, and suitable temperature, and they germinate. As we watch in our kitchen, many grains are present, many seeds are present, gram, moong, etc. are present in the jars. But when we put them in the soil, then they germinate into plants. So in this slide, you're watching the first is bean seed. Bean seed is basically kidney-shaped, non-endospermic dicotyledonous seed. Surface is smooth, concave surface, and testa, tegmen, two layers are you watching. And next one is castor seed. Castor seed is basically endospermic and dicotyledonous seed. Dicotyledonous means two cotyledons are present. And next one is onion seed. Onion seed is the a small blackish endospermic monocotyledons with wrinkled surface. Monocotyledons means it contains only one cotyledon. Seed coat is quite tough, and next one is maize. So maize grain, it's a monocotyledonous endospermic single-seeded dry fruit called caryopsids. And this is the maize. We have already done this example we have done earlier, that it is the most common example of monocotyledonous seeds. It has only one cotyledon, and plumule is covered by coleoptile and radicle is covered by coleorhiza. Now in this slide we'll study what types of fruits. Fruits are of two types, true fruits and false fruits, and parthenocarpic fruits are also there. We will study about them now. Now first of all, true fruits. Now we all know the tissue of the ovary wall is stimulated to grow with the development of the seed. It produces a fruit wall called pericarp. In some cases, thalamus and other floral parts also show prolification along with the development of ovary wall. These type of fruits are called false fruits. In this slide, you are watching the examples of apple and strawberry. These are false fruits because besides ovary, thalamus is also used up in forming the fruits. So, and the true fruits are the fruits in which no part of the flower develops along with the ovary. They are called true fruits. So next is parthenocarpic fruits. We will study about parthenocarpic fruits in next slide. Now is parthenocarpic fruits. Basically, the meaning of parthenocarpic fruits is the production and development of seedless fruits is called parthenocarpic. So, mechanism of obtaining parthenocarpic fruits is becoming increasingly important because of three main reasons. That seeds are irritating during eating of fruit. Second is processing of fruit by food industry requires the removal of seeds, which is quite difficult. And third is there is no increasing tendency to grow fruit bearing plants inside greenhouses. So reliable insect pollinators cannot be ensured in each and every case. Now parthenocarpic fruits are of two types, vegetative parthenocarpy and stimulative parthenocarpy. Now vegetative parthenocarpy, in vegetative parthenocarpy, the seedless fruits can develop even without the stimulus of pollination. And in stimulative parthenocarpy, the stimulus of pollination is required without the actual process of fertilization or seed setting. For example, grapes, etc. In some cases, hormonal treatment is given to make the fruits. Just like two commonly used hormones are auxins and gibberellins. So we have studied about these hormones in 11th standard. Just like tomato produces seedless fruits, it's treated with auxin, and grapevine from seedless fruits, when treated with gibberellin, then it gives out seedless fruits. Next is importance of seeds. Importance of seeds is first of all is dependable method, means unlike bryophyte and pteridophyte, pollination and fertilization of seed plants are free from requirement of water. Next, perennation. Perennation means seed is dry with dormant embryo and thick protective seed coat. It's most suitable for perennation through unfavorable periods. Means it can survive for very much time. Next is dispersal. Seeds have adaptive strategy to get dispersed to new habitats and colonies, etc. So seeds are also containing reserve food and store can seeds can be stored for later use. And next is agriculture. Now, agriculture means that seed is the basis of agriculture. Agriculture originated when humans learned to eat, store, and sow seeds, and then agriculture proved to be turning point for evolution of human civilization, industrialization, science, and technology.